I'd like to call a regular meeting of March 18, 2019 to order. The notice requirements provided in the Open Publics Meeting Act have been satisfied. Notice of this meeting was properly given in the new schedule of meetings of the Spotswood Borough Council on December 20, 2018. The new schedule was transmitted to the Home News Tribune and Sentinel. It was filed with the clerk of the Borough of Spotswood and posted in the municipal building located at 77 Summerhill Road, Spotswood, New Jersey. We're going to have to salute the flag and have a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Councilman Ritchie.
Here.
Councilman Rivera.
Here.
Councilman Malillo.
Here.
Councilman Kramer.
Here.
Council President Spacuzzo.
Here.
Mayor Sealy.
Here.
Okay, we have minutes for this meeting. The caucus minutes for February 4th, 2019.
Make a motion to move the minutes?
Second.
Councilman Ritchie.
Yes.
Councilman Rivera.
Yes.
Councilman Malillo.
Yes.
Councilman Kramer.
Yes.
Council President Spacuzzo.
Yes.
We have the regular minutes for February 4th, 2019.
Move the minutes. Accept.
Who was the first? I missed that.
It's March 4th.
March 4th.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have an ordinance on second reading. Ordinance 2019-2. The ordinance was posted in the municipal building on March 5th, 2019, and advertised in full in the Home News Tribune on March 8th. Public hearing was set for March 18th, 2019. An ordinance of the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 2, Administration of Government, Article 10, Department of Public Safety, Section 2-65, Municipal Ambulance Division / Third-Party Payment Plan. We need a motion to open it to the public.
Make a motion, we open this to the public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone that would like to make a comment on this ordinance? This is, we're changing some fees
Okay.
for some medications that are administered by our EMS.
The motion closed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now we have to adopt.
Make a motion to adopt on second and final reading and publish according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I goofed and I forgot the budget workshop minutes, so I'm going to do that now. The budget workshop minutes for March 6, 2019.
Make a motion, we move those.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And you know what? I said February 4th. It's March 4th.
Yes.
So I stand corrected. They're both March 4th. Okay. Now we have the introduction of the 2019 municipal budget. There'll be no PowerPoint presentation of the budget at this time. It'll be administered at the public hearing, which is set for April 15, 2019. 2019-52, introduction of the 2019 municipal budget. Public hearing on the budget and tax resolution will be held on April 15th, 2019, at which time and place objections said to the said budget and tax resolution for 2019 may be presented by taxpayers or other interested persons. Resolution 2019-52, municipal budget of the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, for the fiscal year of 2019. Be it resolved that the following statements of revenues and appropriations shall constitute the municipal budget for the year 2019. Be it further resolved that said budget is going to be published in the Home News Tribune in the issue of April 4th, 2019. The governing body of the Borough of Spotswood will hereby approve the total budget to be raised by taxes for 2019 is $11,351,113.78. Notice is hereby given that the budget and tax resolution was approved by, well, we can't say that yet. I'm going to take a poll of whether you approve this budget. Someone going to make a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve the budget?
Okay,
Seconded.
Second.
okay. Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Kramer?
Yes.
Council President Spacuzzo?
Yes?
Okay, now I can read that. Notice is hereby given that the budget and tax resolution was approved by the Borough Council of the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, on March 18, 2019. A hearing on the budget and tax resolution will be held at the Spotswood Municipal Building, 77 Summerhill Road, on April 15, 2019, at 7:30 p.m., at which time, place, objections to said budget or tax resolution for the year 2019 may be presented by the taxpayers or others. Now, Council and Council President and Council members, I'll take a motion to accept the resolutions under consent agenda, resolutions 2019-53 through 2019-61.
Make a motion?
Second.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Kramer?
Yes.
Council President Spacuzzo?
Yes? This time I'll take any comments from the members of council. Nothing? Larry?
I gotta see Crandall, I gotta talk to her.
Jose?
No.
Ed? I'm good. You good? I have a couple announcements. I'd like to announce the police department's having cookies with cops on the 27th between 6:30 and 8:30 here in the courtroom, the municipal building. All are invited. I also received a notice that the Municipal Alliance is collecting some items for children's Easter baskets, which they'll be making up and bringing to St. Peter's Hospital. I have a flyer up here with the information if anyone would like it. And I believe that's all I have for tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, that's the only thing I would like to say at this time until we have our hearing on April 15th, presentation, is I'd like to thank the administration, Dawn, Jozanga, and the council for, and all of our department heads for working towards a goal of a 0% increase in the budget. That's pretty much all I got to say.
Okay. Anyone else? At this time, I'll take a motion open to the public.
Make a motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This time, if anyone would like to come up and make comment, just state your name and address, please.
Gotta find out.
All right.
Hi, Colleen Ronco, 118 Manalapan Road. Good evening, everyone. I was here, I guess it was 2 weeks ago, with respect to some of the budget items that were in the animal trust account. So I'd gone back and I'd gone over the animal trust account, and this is what I had determined. The contract that we currently have, I think it's a little bit higher, just slightly higher than this, but we're paying $5,400 a year for animal control services. I don't know what that's including, because she never comes out during regular hours for animal control. She always comes out after hours, which winds up charging us more money for it. She gets charged whether she comes out for an hour, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We get charged for 2 hours worth of her time. So I kind of did an analysis of it, and it's $5,400 approximately that we're paying just in fees per month. So it's $450 a month. It's $5,400 for the year. We're paying, last year we paid $3,398 in shelter fees, $608 in after-hour fees, and $725.85 in vetting fees. My concern with some of this is that these sheltering fees she's charging us, or East Brunswick's charging us $175 per animal picked up. So I just want you to take that into account for a second. Let's say somebody over in Clearwater goes in and picks up a female cat with 8 kittens. It's almost $1,200 they're charging us to come out and pick up those cats. It's crazy. That's an enormous amount of money to pick up a litter of kittens. Whether she comes out here once or she comes out here 42 times, I mean, you're coming out here for one group of kittens and a cat. So that was a little bit of a concern for me. I also went through the list and I looked, and the animal trust account is it's by statute what you can use and what you can't use in that account. So you can't use that account for anything except what's in the statute. The statute is 419-15.11. There are things in this animal trust account. There's something here for Edmonds and Associates, which I'm assuming is computer information based on what I found. Dell Computer Corporation again. These are all things from last year. A monitor, a drum, black toner. Those are all things that cannot come out of this account. This account is completely and totally only for the safety and well-being of dogs and cats. Nothing else can come out of this account. We've got money that was paid here for a rabies clinic for, I guess, people that were working the rabies clinic. 3 hours at $15, 3 hours at $18. Again, none of that can come out of this account. We get to another page here. There was, and I'm not going to mention the name because I don't want to embarrass anybody, but there was a farewell meeting refreshments for the tune of $84.86. And granted, it's not a lot of money, and I'm not saying that it is, but it can't come out of this account. Those are all things that are just not allowed to come out of this trust account. The trust account has to be for something that you can put into an animal, take out of an animal, or fix an animal. So rabies shots, microchips, if the animal needs to be vetted because it was hit by a car. You can take your animal control fees out of here if you wanted to, but you certainly can't take out ink and toner and refreshments for a party and whatever else is on this that you can't take out. Now, the other thing I noticed when I was doing this was that in some cases, we are taking out the vet fees. There were some vet fees that were taken out here. There were some after-hour call-ins that were taken out of here for animal control. But I know for a fact that there was at least 3 dogs last year that were picked up at the shelter, and they had to pay the $175 fee back to East Brunswick in order to be able to pick their dog up. So the fee is coming out of here, but the fee from East Brunswick being paid back to us when somebody picks their animal up and is paying the fee is not being put back into this account. So it needs, if it's going to come out of this account, which it should be coming out of this account, it also has to go back into this account. You can't take the $175 fee that somebody's using and say, okay, well, we're going to stick it into the general account, or we're going to put it here, we're going to put it there. It's not the way this account works. This account is very, very specific, and it's like I said, it's statute by law. The other things I went and I did was, I looked up the shared service agreements for the last couple of years with East Brunswick. And one of the things that I noticed on here in 2016 was that says the Borough of Spotswood will pay to the Township of East Brunswick $175 per animal taken to the Woodbridge Animal Shelter. Regardless of the length of time the animal remains in the shelter, all animals brought to the shelter must be in good health. When requested as space permits at the shelter, the Borough of Spotswood shall pay to the Township of East Brunswick $100 for the provision of a 10-day quarantine of animals and $25 per day per animal for court case evictions, cruelty cases, etc. Now I'm going to stop right there before I go any further. NJSA 4:19-15.16, and I'll give you guys all of this paperwork afterwards if you want it. It says, may require the owner or person charged with the care of the animal to pay all animal's expenses while in the care of the shelter, pound, or kennel operating as a shelter or pound, not to exceed $4 per day. That's all you can charge. That's all East Brunswick can charge. That's by law. All you're allowed to charge, if my animal goes missing and it's in the shelter for 30 days, they can only charge me $120. They can't charge me $25 per day as per the shared service agreement. It's against the law. So we're being charged all of this money, again, the $175 fee. Woodbridge only charges $65 to pick up an animal. So if I go there and I have to pick my animal up, Woodbridge only charges me $65. Why are we being billed $175? Why is East Brunswick making $110 per animal on every animal we pick up when we're already paying her to pick up the animals, and we're already paying a monthly fee for them to come out and do that? It's redundant, and it's 3 times. It also says here there should be no surrenders directly to the shelter. Again, that's completely illegal. That's an open intake shelter. We are paying a fee. So if John Smith down the street can't take care of his animal anymore because he's got to go into a nursing home, where's that animal supposed to go? I mean, you can't just throw it outside. It's abandonment. It's got to go to the shelter. So this contract, I don't know who negotiated this contract or who negotiated it with East Brunswick, but this contract, there's at least 3 or 4 things in this contract that are wrong, that are just completely illegal by law.
Quick question for you.
Sure.
John Smith, who does he turn his animal into, East Brunswick or Woodbridge?
Woodbridge. Woodbridge Animal Shelter. East Brunswick is only the animal control. So all we're doing with them is we're calling them and we're saying to them, hey, we've got a loose animal, we've got an animal at large. Ultimately, they have to take it to whatever shelter we are contracted with, which would be Woodbridge Animal Shelter.
Spotswood resident needs to voluntarily surrender, they need to go to Woodbridge with it.
Correct.
Okay.
So that was that. Then, let me see here. There were some other things. I also requested all of the invoices for 2018 from Animal Control in East Brunswick. I was a little disappointed in the fact that I had asked for all of the backup material, and they told me that they had nothing responsive to my request. So I don't know who's approving these here, but some of these had veterinarian charges attached to them, and I would hope, here, like this one, for instance, April of 2018, there was a kitten found in a box at 20 George Street. The shelter fee was $175, and the vet fee was $215.85. My concern is, we don't know what the vet fee was for, because there's no paperwork backing up this at all. There should at least be, to us, if we're going to pay a bill, we should know that there's a vet fee in charge, and what the vet fee was for.
Itemized.
Exactly. It could have been a situation where, yeah, there was a kitten in a box, the kitten was injured, maybe it had an upper respiratory infection. I mean, there are residents, there are shelters, rescues that would take an animal like that, and at no cost to us, would vet that animal. So these are all kind of things that we needed to, kind of look into. One of the other things I noticed on here, here's a perfect example. 4 kittens found at 63th Fernhead Avenue, $700 to pick up those 4 kittens. That's crazy. So she came out one time, and East Brunswick billed us $700 for those kittens. And they went to Woodbridge, and Woodbridge got nothing for them except whatever their adoption fee was for the kittens, which I can tell you is nowhere close to $175 a cat. There's also on here, for instance, there was like a dog hit by a car. But here's some of the other things that kind of concern me. Raccoon in dumpster, injured birds. In those particular cases, we weren't charged anything, but that's still going through Fish, Game, and Wildlife. We shouldn't be doing anything with respect to any kind of wildlife whatsoever. Here's an injured squirrel. They took it to the vet. It was $60. I'm sure they probably had to euthanize that squirrel, but again, that should have been Fish, Game, and Wildlife that came out and got that animal. It shouldn't have been us taking that animal over there and being billed for it. Here's another one, sick raccoon from 76 Adirondack Avenue, $152. More than likely, that's a euthanasia cost, because no vet is going to take an animal that's been injured that badly. If the raccoon was injured that badly and it's going to a vet, it's being euthanized. Again, Fish, Game, and Wildlife should have been taking care of that. We're being billed all of these extra fees on here that we don't need to be billed. So, and there's quite a few of them. Here's an injured hawk, $152. That should have been taken, an injured hawk should have been taken up to Rapture Trust up in Sussex County. That's what they do. That's all they do. They just rehab hawks, eagles, any kind of birds of prey. That's exactly what they do. Feel free to call me. I'll take the animal myself. It wouldn't be the first time, as long as we can get it into a crate. But I mean, $152 for that, when again, $152 is usually a euthanasia fee for an animal that size. We're euthanizing these animals when it really should be taken up to Rapture Trust. People will take these. I mean, I'll drive them myself. It doesn't matter to me. Injured goose, DeVoe Lake, American Legion, 3.5 hours they spent on an injured goose to the tune of $266. Again, Fish, Game, and Wildlife. And here, this one kind of concerned me, again, because there's no backup paperwork, so I can't tell what it is. 8/27/18, they have a hold on an animal, they don't say what kind of animal it is, from June 7th to August 27th, to the tune of $850. It doesn't say what it's being held for, and I have no idea, is it a court case, was it an eviction case, was it some kind of weird exotic animal that they had to hold until somebody could come and get? I don't know, because there's no backup to any of the paperwork that we're getting. 40 Oak Street, again, 3 stray kittens, $525. You're paying more to pick up, literally, for this month, you paid more to pick up 3 stray kittens on Oak Street than you paid your fee for the $450 for the month. And again, I ask, and maybe somebody, can give me an answer on this, what are we paying for in the $450? Because she should be coming out during hours, and why are we paying her and then paying them again to pick the animals up? I mean, that's part of the whole $450. If it's after hours, if it's 11 o'clock at night, I can understand that. But, I mean, if we're picking them up during 9 and 5, that's the whole purpose of the $450 a month. Sometimes they make out better, sometimes we do. It's just the nature of the game. So I just wanted to bring some of those things. I don't think there's anything else here. I just wanted to bring some of those issues up. And, as far as this, my biggest concern is that animal trust account, because there was money taken out of there that shouldn't be. And that money, whoever was paying back their fees for picking up their dog at large, that money should be going back into that account. That's not Spotswood's money. That's the animal's money. So, anybody have any questions on anything, or?
Well, thanks for bringing that to our attention.
No problem.
The only thing that I can speak on is the $84 charge for the refreshments. That was a clerical mistake, and that is being corrected.
Okay,
That's being put back in that account.
okay.
But do you have any comments on the rest of the items, Dawn, or?
I'm definitely going to check that statute, because it was my understanding that any supplies used in animal licensing could be charged to that account.
No, if you
Like
look,
you mentioned Edmunds, that's the animal licensing
Right.
software that we have that tracks everything, but I'll check the statute.
yeah, I called the state, just so you know, I called the Attorney General's office, and I actually got somebody on the phone. And they told me point blank, unless it can go into an animal, like the rabies tags you can buy, because that's something you have to show that you have rabies, it's state mandated. But as far as envelopes, toner, ink cartridges, I mean, we had somebody that bought a $90,000 van in another town, and all of it got thrown out. Because if it goes into an animal, AKA a rabies shot or a vaccine, microchip you can do. If it's something to help catch an animal, so like if we had our own animal control person and we needed a rabies pole, or we needed new crates or a new trap to catch an animal, that we could do. But as far as all of those other little miscellaneous items, those are all regular items that just come out of your daily, hey, you need envelopes, that's, it would be, I think it would be a little bit different if we had a municipal shelter, but we don't. So, but I gave you the statute, right? You wrote it
Yes, I
down,
wrote
okay.
it down. Thank you.
So if anybody wants this afterwards, let me know.
Yeah.
Do you want it, or? do you
Yeah, I'll
want it?
take a copy,
Okay.
please.
I have a question.
Sure.
Very astute at this.
A little bit more than I like to be
What
sometimes.
When, let's just say Division of Fish, Game, and Wildlife don't show or don't come.
I mean, technically, by law, they're supposed to. I mean, I get that sometimes they don't.
Because I remember the goose incident, because
Right.
that was in front of the American Legion. And they were called and didn't show.
Fish, Game, and Wildlife didn't show.
Yeah.
I mean, I can get you the name of the person to go over their heads with if you have to. I mean,
appreciate that.
I've got the names of everybody, but yeah, I can do that as well and get you the name of somebody, but we really aren't supposed to be. And I'm not saying don't, like, I'm not saying if this is a situation where this goose was so injured and nobody showed up, I mean, I'm not saying they let the animal sit there and die. I'm absolutely not saying that. I'm just saying that a lot of these wildlife calls really need to be done by Fish, Game, and Wildlife, and sometimes just having to be a pain with Fish, Game, and Wildlife and letting them know that you're going to call them every time for this is just enough to get them to come out here and do it. Because we do have a lot of geese, I mean, let's face it. We've got a lot of geese, there's a lot of swans out there, I mean, we've got a lot of raccoons here in town, so, that's something that definitely needs to be taken care of. But I would definitely You know, it's just that it's a lot of charges. When you look at the overall amount of charges for the year, we're paying $5,400 and almost double that in all of these excess vet fees and fees for picking up these animals, when in actuality, it shouldn't be us picking them up, it should be Fish, Game, and Wildlife. So I'm not saying don't let an animal sit there and suffer, that's not what I'm saying. But I mean, if worse comes to worse, you know, if we have a situation like that again, I mean, feel free, Mayor, you can call me or send one of the officers over to my house or whatever, because I've got more phone numbers and people that I can call than anybody could shake a stick at, so, if you need to.
I also just wanted to make a comment, too, that at the last meeting, you brought up about the scanner
Oh, yes.
and the thermometer.
Right.
That we're looking into both of those items.
Okay, great, perfect.
And we're also looking into getting a vet come in during a rabies clinic to possibly put the chips in the
Rabies,
animals.
that would be great, too, yeah.
Yeah, so that's all being looked at.
Okay, perfect, yeah, and that's all stuff that, like I said, can come out of the animal trust account without it being an issue, you know, overall.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Taking a long way, huh?
Yeah, I had to. I'll take a tour. Dulcie Braga Rivera, 46 Herbert Ave. First, I'd like to announce March 30th is the fundraiser for the fire department. Please come out, have a good time. A couple of comedians, watch my husband get roasted, and food, drinks.
Definitely coming now.
So please buy tickets and come, and even if you don't come, buy the tickets anyway, okay? So thank you. Next, with the taxes, I appreciate, you know, you guys trying to make sure there's a zero tax increase, but you and I all both know that a zero increase is oftentimes unrealistic. Payroll costs go up, operational costs go up. There are things that are completely out of your control, and it is what it is. As homeowners, we all know that also. So with that, the only way we're ever going to make any kind of inroads with the taxes in this town is obviously to bring in more revenue. And that's always a question, like, where do you get revenue from? Revenue should come from businesses. Sorry. So I just want to know, is there a committee, a group, anything, who is put together, or can we get one together to put together to take a look at the town, identify opportunities for businesses that we might want to bring into the town, places that they can go, do some sort of forward planning, and start to actively market Spotswood to become a place for people to come and do business, to bring business in, so that we can create more revenue off the taxpayers, off the residents, and hopefully make some sort of inroad to the tax base. I drive around the town all the time, and I see lots of empty lots, old buildings that aren't really being completely utilized. That place over on Snow Hill has been up for sale a couple of times. I don't know if they bought it or not. It's a huge piece of property. He's even offered to split it last time I saw, just to try to sell it. But I know that there's places in this town that we can put businesses, and we can identify the type of businesses that we want, some clean business, to hopefully make a dent. As a taxpayer, please.
Well, I think it's a great idea. I know we've discussed it a little bit about a committee. Nothing was officially done yet, but I'll speak to the mayor about it, and maybe we'll get something together. And it sounds like you might.
Chamber of Commerce as well, something that generates interest.
Yes, anything. You know, I know Metuchen had done this years and years ago. I know a lot of people don't like their downtown. I love their downtown. It's a great walking community. Tons of shops that you go in and out of that people can walk around and buy. And most importantly, it's a great use of their space because they are a walking town, just like we are. They have a train, yeah, I know, but we don't need a train.
It has one distinct advantage over us. Their main street is probably 25 feet wider, so they can park cars on both sides.
Absolutely.
We have to dodge cars on both sides.
Absolutely, but I think that if we look around, there's places, even if we create parking lots. I know some towns actually have generated income by creating parking lots and selling the spots to, or renting the spots to commuters, and they have the buses that come by. It's great. It's an empty lot. Park your car. Pay me $25 for the month or for the week or the whatever. I think one friend of mine, she pays almost $200 a month for a parking space, just so that she can park where the bus stops. That's not too far from here. So, I mean, anything, just anything, but it's really a matter of getting a committee together, identifying what's available in the town, and then identifying the kind of businesses that you want in. Okay, thank you.
Sounds like a volunteer right there.
We need revenue, is right. She's right. That's right.
Cheryl Bass. Also about the taxes and the budget. When the budget was first brought up, that this is what we're going to be working on, I had asked the question, is the school salary for teachers, administrators, is the school part of the budget? And the mayor had said that that is separate. That is separate.
I'll have to speak to the Board of Ed about that.
Okay, that's one of the reasons why I asked when the next meeting is. But here you have a microphone, so I want to be on record. Since that point of time, it has come to light, it's been in the media, that many top colleges are getting bribes, getting extra money, donations, you name it, so that celebrity children can get into these colleges. The schools, our school system here in the town is subject to what the union, the National Educational Association, is telling them, oh, you know, go out on strike, get higher pay in other areas, this is what they're getting, you have to be in line with what they are getting. Somebody has to talk to the school board. Somebody has to talk to the people who are involved with the union and let them know that you're working hard at keeping the taxes at a reasonable rate. 0% increase is terrific. I'm happy about that. But the schools are out of line, and somebody has to talk to them and let them know. It has to go up the chain to the union, which is sending the teachers out on strike and benefit programs and all of that, because the taxpayers are not going to put up with this. And then we find out that taxpayers are trying to do the best for their children, trying to get our children into the best schools, that they have the grades, they have all of the resume items, extracurricular items, so that they can get into the schools. But the system is rigged.
Well,
And it's-
not to interrupt, Cheryl, but I think you really need to go to the Board of Ed meeting and put it on their record.
And I will do that. I will do
please.
that. But this way, the mayor and the town council are well aware of what thoughts are on an average taxpayer's mind.
Understand. Thank you.
Right. Carol, you're right.
Anyone else from the public? Oh,
Lillian Janesco, 294 Woods End Court. I'm going to expand on what Dulcie was talking about attracting businesses and perhaps increasing some of the rentables in the town. However, if I was a business person, I would come down Main Street and I'd say, who wants to come to this dump? And I've complained about the blight that is being allowed to continue again and again. And Mr. Ritchie, I'm sure you just love looking at that beautiful house across the street from you. And I have to agree with you, despite the fact that I believe that they should fulfill their obligation to clean up the debris and the weeds that grow in the summertime. It does look better when the vines cover the house. But there are so many people that work for this town, and I think everyone should be observe what causes the blight, and they should be reported, and it should be expanded and followed through. If there's any ordinances on how people are permitting to this to go on, it should be that should be acted upon. Thank you.
I just want to say one thing. When I was council president, this came up a few times, and, I had spoken to Dawn about the ordinances. These properties, like the one across the street from me, are abandoned within the code. And unfortunately, because they are abandoned within the code, all the code enforcer can do is go out there and look. Unless we change our ordinances,
It's a dump.
I don't
But
disagree
we're
with you.
allowing it to exist.
But the ordinances in the town have to be changed, and if they get changed, then other houses that are not lived in may fall under that. It's kind of a double-edged sword. I agree with you. There's some blighted properties here. But how do you address that to get rid of the ones that are abandoned, but yet if somebody's still living in something, how do you deal with it?
Don't we have an ordinance to avoid blight?
I don't believe we do.
There's part of the property maintenance code. We follow the International Property Maintenance Code, and there is part that leaves somewhat in the code enforcer's realm.
It should be enforced.
Judgment. However, if he's going to enforce it, like Ted said, for that one house, he has to address the entire town.
You have to what?
Address the entire town, not
It
just
should
that one
be,
house.
the entire town should be addressed.
Yeah.
You go through the town and it's a disgrace. So when you're talking about attracting businesses, not when you go down Main Street.
We're gonna try
Thank
to
you.
do something like that. We're gonna try to do something like that.
Anyone else from the public?
Good, you're gonna make it harder. Golly. Jeez, Jordan, just make it harder.
Edward Smith, 395 Old Stage Road, Spotswood. My question is, I know you were talking about the budget, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to be here at the time, but I was at the workshop, and I did see part of the numbers that made up the budget. But have we had gotten the impact from the county and/or the Board of Education? Or has that not come in yet?
Board of Ed, I don't believe has come in yet.
Okay.
I don't know about county.
So we really can't get to a full tax bill.
But hopefully by the time we're doing our presentation on the 15th, hopefully by then we'll have all these numbers, and they'll be all put out then.
Okay.
At the last board meeting that I was at, which was 2 weeks ago, they were waiting for some state numbers, and then they said they would have their numbers by next board meeting, which is tomorrow night.
Okay.
There you go, tomorrow
Okay,
night.
okay. So, right, so this tonight was really just the introduction of our township, not the
Total.
compiled, okay? And, all right, thank you, I appreciate it. My other question deals with the Board of Education. and-
Tomorrow night.
No, right, and I just, is anyone aware, maybe, last year, maybe Dulcie, you may know, last year, the year before, we voted for a referendum for like $9 million. Is that due to kick in this year?
I believe
I
it is.
thought it was due to kick in with this tax.
I believe it is,
Yeah,
yes.
okay, thank you. And I'm not asking that question, I was just trying to be knowledgeable about the whole picture.
From my understanding, it is supposed to kick
Yeah,
in this year.
okay, thanks. Is that correct, or, you know?
She's shaking her head no.
Anyone else?
I can't see.
Yes or no? One of those deals.
Hi, Robert Kersey, 255 Burlington. It's my pleasure to be here tonight. I passed the American Legion Hall, and I see the 100th anniversary sign. I know that Ed Seeley, the mayor, has been with that for a long time. So it's pretty cool that when our daughters were young, we coached softball together. And I had gotten an email the other day from the Department of Mint, and I thought it was nice that they actually made a coin up. It says the American Legion, March 1919, March 2019. March 2019 marks the 100th anniversary of the founding of the American Legion. To recognize the occasion, the United States Mint presents the 2019 American Legion 100th Anniversary Commemorative Coin Program. On March 15th, 1919, Members of the American Expeditionary Forces occupied Europe after World War I, founded the organization that would be incorporated by Congress and the American Legion. A century later, the Legion has 4 keys: for Veterans Affairs, which Ed served in the military, rehabilitation, national security Americanism, and children and the youth, where I got a chance to meet him when he coached his daughter and I coached mine. Continue to benefit our nations, our servicemen and women and their families as civilians and their communities. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, and when I was a kid, I had a shirt that said Brooklyn. I was very proud to live there. And yes, I did have a shirt that says Spotswood. So I would like to give Ed Seeley this coin on behalf of me and my family. It's a commemorative coin. And as he will see, it says United States Mint, American Legion, 2019.
That's very nice, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Stand this way, because they say we're not on camera.
Yeah, you got to step over this way a little bit.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Enjoy. God bless. Thanks for serving our town. It's greatly appreciated. So somebody asked me, like, why would you do that? And when you're growing up as a kid, you always, look at your father for a hero or somebody that you worked with. And when I coached, we were both very fair, and you became mayor, and not everybody is willing to stick out their neck. So lots of luck. May the good Lord be with you, and thank you very much.
Thank you. You talk about being humbled.
Very nice. I don't know how you follow that up, but is there anybody else from the public that would like to speak? On that?
Motion to close the public portion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. We do have a closed session tonight.
Will there be no action taken after it? Right, okay. Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975, permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas the public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, now therefore be it resolved by the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey as follows. The public shall be excluded from discussion of any action upon the hereinafter specified subject matters. The general nature of the subject matter to be discussed is as follows. Contract negotiations. It is anticipated at this time that the above stated subject matter shall be made public when confidentiality is no longer required. This resolution shall take effect immediately.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out.
No, I need motions.
Make a motion, we accept the resolution.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye. Now, thank you, everybody, for coming out.
Next meeting is April 1st.
That's it.
We're going to close and reopen to the public. I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wait to come to this meeting? No? It's up. We're good.
Make a motion to close the meeting.
That's it.
Okay. Who did that? What are we doing now?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.